Welcome back, everybody, to the From the Bench podcast. As always, I'm your host, Eric, and with me is my co-host, Trevor.
What's going on, everybody?
See, there we go. We're rocking, we're rolling. It's 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night, and this is
We're just getting it done.
we're just getting it done.
Just out there, just bar down, just humming by the goalies, just laying haymakers right by their heads. Just
Oh my god,
ding, you know what I mean?
that's the worst.
Just living the dream.
That's every beer league or every like pickup league. Every time it's like, we're gonna warm up the goalie. How are you gonna do that?
Shoot for the head
Come
and
in,
collarbone. Just
yeah,
classics.
exactly. Just like slappers from 5 feet away. Or here, I'm gonna pull out my most extravagant deke move to try to get you to like pull a groin in the middle of warm ups. It's awesome. Anyways, we'll stick with hockey actually to start. So we're gonna talk some hockey. We're gonna talk some football. We're gonna recap a couple of games, a couple of things that happened in those games last week. Obviously, we're gonna talk about the Chargers game. Please
The
help
battle
me.
of the young quarterbacks.
Oh my god, it was terrible. And then we're going to talk about the Patriots because everybody saw the Patriots beating the Ravens on Sunday night, right?
We're suddenly back in the hunt with a 2-game winning streak.
Oh my god, they are not going to make it. And then obviously it's then everybody's favorite part of the episode, and that is the picks of the week, the predictions. So getting right into it though, we're going to get into, there wasn't a whole lot of NHL news this week. The news we did have was the new retro jerseys, which Trevor.
Oh my god, don't even get me started.
Trevor's not a fan.
It's not good. Not even a little bit. Like, oh my god.
I think this
let's
is more
start
of
with
a
the Vegas one. Like the Vegas one, like, oh my god. Actually, no. Like, let's start with the Phoenix Coyotes. Like, me and Eric don't have kids, but if we did, I feel as though like a kid, like son or daughter, designed it and could have did a better job. Like, it's like purple. Like, really?
hey man, that's
Like, I don't even know what to say about that. Do you?
well, that's bringing back the old, the old dog, that early.
I love that logo, but I do not like it with that purple. Like they're black, like the retro one. What is it? Black, green, and like with the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but this
That's
one's
sick.
This one's only gonna be like a 2 or 3 gamer type of thing, and
That's
and
too
then
many.
You're done with it, and that's.
It shouldn't even be one and done. It shouldn't even happen.
I think Trevor's really angry because
The Leaf one sucks, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say because the Leaf one sucks more than
They all suck, really. Like, which
Hey.
ones did I tell you I liked?
you like the Ducks.
I did like the Duck one, and I didn't mind the Detroit one, and I also somewhat like the Stars because they're just really basically they're simple.
What about the Colorado Nordiques?
It's all right, I guess. I hate to say that because I do like the Nordique jersey, like the original, but
They're just bringing in the colors. That's all it is. It's essentially
it's just a money grab because
Yes.
the shit's going on. And like, I just think the jerseys are, it's like I totally am all for new jerseys, but like, man, put some time and effort in them. They look like shit.
Well, it's the same as.
Do you feel like I feel? Like I just do not like them.
Well,
at all.
it's I don't mind some of them. I think some of them got lazy. You obviously have ones like
Like
the
the
Blues.
St. Louis Blues ones right here
they're
we're
on,
looking at?
They're on TV right now.
like those ones there are even better than the ones like fuck me.
I think the
even
Jets are terrible. I think those I hate those ones. I really don't.
The
like,
Islanders got the best one because they didn't do.
Yeah, the
jack
Islanders
shit.
didn't they just didn't mail in their homework for the assignment. They're
It's
like,
like
oh.
it's like it's Lou. It's like it's Lou at his best.
Yeah.
He's just like, no, we're not doing it.
Yeah, no,
Just send him in the jersey we have.
Yeah, I'm not,
I fucking love it, Lou.
we're not
You're a
playing with
beauty.
that. We're not messing around with any.
By
of
the
that
way, I
stuff.
could have never played for Lou. The thought of having what do you have to be clean shaving and no long hair? Not
Yeah.
a fucking chance.
Yeah,
I'm the total opposite of that.
Trevor actually got his ears lowered the other day. Got a nice little haircut. So
You can see my ears and they're huge. I don't know what happened, but they're big.
Yeah.
Or I've just gone so long without seeing them. That
yeah.
I
By the
didn't
way,
realize they were that big.
that's probably it. But yeah, no. So I there's some jerseys I like. I actually do like the Colorado jersey. I think that one's pretty good. There's a couple other ones that are decent. Like I said, there's none that are. I don't know. Like some of them are just got lazy. Like the Toronto one's terrible.
I think it's terrible too. Like I think that's like a kind of like they wore those somewhat in the 80s. Was it, Eric? I think.
Yeah.
I know because
That's like the
what is
old
it, Clark?
That's like Wendell Clark,
Yeah.
Darryl Sittler. That's
I
those
remember
guys.
he wore them, but like I will give a shout out to Ottawa's. It's kind of pretty simple, but I like it.
Yeah. Then there's ones like the Buffalo one. I don't mind the Buffalo one, but
so.
I would have rather seen the Buffalo head come back. The old Dominic
the saber head,
yeah.
yeah, totally. The Hasek days.
Yeah. Those are my cousin Mark. He's a big Buffalo fan growing up, and that was like he was like the Hasek, you know.
They had Rob Ray. Remember Matthew Barnaby,
Satan, Afinaganov. You had all these guys. So that's what I kind of wish they would have went with more. Obviously, you know, Florida went back with the
Jay McKee. Oh my God, this is bringing back some memories.
There's some bad ones. I'm not a big fan of the two-tone ones that Vancouver was trying to roll out.
That is fucking brutal. Like Vancouver's is. I'm so happy you brought that up.
Yeah.
It's so ugly. Like where they got that green is beyond me, and it just takes over the jersey. I just don't like it at all.
It's terrible. But the Jets are terrible. The Blackhawks, it's funny because they released the front of all these jerseys, and the Blackhawks one, they don't want to offend anybody on social media, so they just, when they released it to the back, just the back where it just says Blackhawks, because you don't want to offend anybody with the logos. Columbus has the old logo. It's kind of like the Metro might have some of the nicest ones.
I don't mind Columbus's. There's a lot of colors going on there.
There is,
and I think we were talking about it, how I actually don't mind Washington's.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of a reverse of that.
And Pittsburgh's is like vintage, like early 90s.
Yeah.
Didn't they wear those ones? And then same with the Rangers. I think the Rangers are like.
Well, the Capitals are kind of like a color swap on that style that they wore when like Yager was there for those couple seasons, right? So, but anyways, that's pretty much all we got for hockey. We don't have a whole lot. It's what the time of year right now, right? So there's not a whole lot for hockey. You have the odd little signing here and there, but you know, some minor league guys.
Nothing worthy of us discussing any long notes.
No, the only other thing there was the young man. I don't know if you even heard the story, Trevor, but
you mean the Phoenix?
The Phoenix kid.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Which, you know what? I was listening to Chicklets earlier, and they actually brought up a good point. And you and I are both on the same page with a lot of stuff. People screw up, especially when they're younger, right? The problem with this kid is that the kid seemed like he had no remorse, and that's even what the judge said. The judge kind of came out and said, look, I feel like you feel sorry for yourself because you're in this position, but I don't feel like you ever felt bad that you said any of those things, that you did any of the things you did, which were everything he did, like to
regret it. He doesn't.
No, he doesn't regret it. He apparently smashed this challenge boy's head into the wall and called him names because he was
verbally abused him.
So it was just terrible. Yeah. So that's the only other story. But like I said, it's been talked about over and over and over again at this point. So
young and dumb though. Like I just hope he, you learn from it and grow as a person because it's horrible.
Yeah, and he probably gets some bad advice. I don't know how an agent or a parent or somebody doesn't tell you, go to the kid and apologize. Don't apologize to the 31 teams. You didn't do anything to them. Go apologize to the kid that you were. Or even take it upon
yourself.
Exactly.
I totally get what you're saying. But that's one of those things where we're all brought up differently and this, that, and the other thing. So we won't dive too crazy into it. But I'm just, maybe he's just a factor or he's just a product of kind of home he was brought up in.
Yeah, you never know.
I hate to say that, but
Hey,
and I'm a firm believer in second chances. I know you know that.
Yeah.
I totally believe in that, and that's the whole point of society, right? We all screw up, and it's all about learning.
And as I said, I think that's the thing. I don't think anybody would have a problem with giving this kid a second chance. Obviously, Phoenix drafted him knowing this issue. It's kind of only when they dug into it further, and obviously more stuff came out that they said he was never really remorseful for it. That's when it kind of got to the point that it kind of turned into be like, never mind, you don't really care what you did. So moving on though. One more thing I want to talk to Trevor about is Trevor, we're CFL fans, right? So
we are.
It's nice. I guess the commissioner came out and said he's hoping to release a schedule for the season next year. Obviously they had to cancel this season. CFL is all revenue, right? They just, with all it is getting attendance at a lot of these games and it's all about local, right?
It's one of the only sports they need fans in.
Yeah, they
in 100%. The seats. Period.
And there's not enough government funding. They try to get some stuff, but there wasn't enough government funding otherwise. But the Argos, I don't know if you saw this, Trevor, but they brought back the boat as the logo.
Not a fan.
No,
we both know I'm an Argo fan. I don't know why, but I'm not even gonna go there.
I don't know why they picked it. It's ugly. I understand like a lot of teams are going retro now, which is fine. The problem is you could have tweaked that some, right? You could have made it to be something better than what it is. But yeah, what they went with definitely was not the best look that they could have went with for sure. I understand it's the old logo, and like I said, that's what's trending now, right? Going with the paying tribute to your heritage.
Old is new kind of
exactly,
deal.
right?
Yeah.
Retro and all these retro jerseys, right? People are loving them all over social media because that's what people like, right? The Chargers dropping back. There's a lot of teams that have kind of done that lately. The Argos could have, but maybe just tweaked it a little bit to bring it kind of into this era a little bit, kind of old and new at the same time. But that's pretty much it. So next thing, we're going to get right into it. This is going to be, look, we're just flying through these. Next thing is the NFL games for week 10. We are now into week 11, Trevor. Can you believe it?
Man, I'm just going to, Eric and our fans, man, I'm just enjoying seeing so much football. Like, literally, like, okay, so like my roommate, my cousin Ashton, God bless her, she puts up with a lot. So she wakes up first thing in the morning, Eric, on a Saturday morning. There I am. It's probably not even, I bet you it's like 7:30. I'm up. People have already got the timer set, so the coffee's brewed. I'm sitting there. I got the old pajama pants on. I got the hoodie on. The Pats hoodie, of course, the only team that matters. And I got the PVR dialed up, man. And I watched 2 or 3 games I taped that I already know the end result, the who won and who did whatever. So, but I'm just such a football fan, man. I just want to see what's going on. Like, I just want to see as many games as I can, and I'm just taking it all in. And another game I got taped that I haven't got around to yet was actually when Tom Brady and the Bucs got spanked by the Saints. So, but I did watch the game this weekend where they laid the beat down on Carolina, and Carolina it's kind of deceiving because they were right there with them for the longest time, and then they just literally fell off. Like, just, I almost want to say in the fourth quarter or just a hair before it. So, but they're not a bad team, Carolina. Like, it's one of those things where I think
they're coached
them
pretty
and
well.
and you can tell they made a lot of picks on the defensive side of the ball. There's a lot of immaturity and youngness, but they hang there. So, but there's a lot to work with, man. They're doing a good job, and that coach is going to get them turned around quick. And Teddy, it's good to see Teddy doing well, eh?
Yeah, no,
By that I mean Bridgewater people.
Yeah, so old Teddy Two Gloves, he's looking pretty good. He's not being amazing, but he's got enough to kind of keep them in it.
Oh, he's still definitely an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I think he got banged up at the end of the game, though. So
he did.
They're talking about he might not even play this game, which if he doesn't, that means it's going to be
it's not good.
PJ Walker, which is he played in the XFL.
Oh, yeah, the XFL. Yeah, had a great year.
So he was I think gonna be the MVP. I think he played for Houston easily. Or whoever it was down there in the XFL. So he'd be the next guy in line. You never know if he's electric. If he's another one of these mobile, shifty, electric quarterbacks. Too. Maybe he takes over for Teddy. It depends on what Matt Rule over there, the head coach, what he likes. But I think he's got a good grasp on things. I think for being a young guy. I really honestly thought they were going to be terrible this year.
Oh, and it wasn't. But
yeah, and it wasn't so much Teddy. I didn't think like Teddy's terrible. I didn't think.
There's so much change, new coach regime.
I just thought
releasing so many veterans.
Yeah, and I like Christian McCaffrey. So I just for whatever reason I just thought their defense. Yes, they spent every one of the draft picks this year was on the defensive side. They did not draft one offensive player the entire draft, and they had like 10 or 13 draft picks,
which is awesome.
Yeah, so they just said, like, look, our defense was terrible last year. We're going to rebuild it now. And it's just, but they just kind of have a good grasp on things. But they got walloped by Tampa Bay.
They just could not keep up.
No, and then Ronald Jones. Thanks to Ronald Jones. You won me my weekend fantasy. Good on you, bud. But he just went off.
That was sick, that dive up the middle, and he just breaks it.
98 yards or whatever it was.
Man, so. I miss those days. Like, with Ricky Williams or LT or Priest Holmes. Who's Baltimore's old back? Lewis? Was it Lewis?
Yeah.
Anyways, man, when these guys used to break the long runs, it just doesn't happen that often. The last guy really to break a lot of long runs, well, actually, speaking of a young guy who needs to get the ball more, who went high to Detroit, is Swift?
Yeah, DeAndre Swift.
Man, this guy needs the rock. Like, he broke a couple of nice ones this year, but I'm talking, like, the last guy who really comes to mind with breaking long touchdown runs, besides McCaffrey once in a blue moon, is Adrian Peterson.
Yep.
When I'm saying that, people, I just mean, like, multiple long runs for touchdowns during the course of a season. It's almost a rarity. Like, now you're used to seeing, like, a 15, 20-yard run, maybe a the odd 40 or 45 yard or 50 yard run, but it's becoming a rarity unless you're Henry and you're just like last year towards the end of it where he was just bulldozing. But I love it. You know who Henry reminds me of that used to run for Tennessee, but he's a little more fluent than this guy was? Eddie George.
Oh yeah.
Remember him back in the day?
Yeah. So how do you not remember Eddie George? Come on now.
Ohio State Buckeye alum. I'm telling you. But anyways, I'm getting off. What was your question? I'm kind of getting.
I don't know. You went off fucking apparently.
Right?
Trevor was like, "Hey, we're gonna talk about." I literally just said.
Just went on a big tangent.
We weren't even supposed to talk about the Bucs and the Panthers, so that just was a tangent that went off on its own. Then I just brought up that because he brought up the Panthers. I said they got walloped by the Buccaneers, and he's like, "Oh, the I formation, I run, blah blah." Then we got a running back talk for the last 5 minutes. So.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous.
I just let Trevor go once in a while. People, I feel like I talk more than Trevor. Obviously, it's because
it's entertaining.
Yeah, because I talk more too because
you're the hostess.
I'm the host, but I'm also bringing up all the topics, and then I got to like discuss it a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm totally fine with that.
And then I let Trevor talk about it once I've said the question type of thing.
I kind of prefer it actually,
but
really.
It's sometimes I'll just let Trevor go. So the main thing I was going to talk about is Trevor, your Patriots. Let's talk about the game, the monsoon. Bill Belichick, he's born for those games. And
man, did it rain or what though? Like, it was crazy, eh?
It was wild.
That's what come over from where it was a game before the previous night. Was it a college game? I can't even remember, but anyways, doesn't even matter. Let's talk about the Pats a little bit here. So the Pats lost 4 games in a row here, and like I was just telling Eric before we come on air, mini game 2 win streak, and that's huge. Like they were still way behind. Don't get me wrong, in their division here, we got a 7-3 Buffalo team and 5-3 Miami Dolphins or something like that, or 6-3, 6-3 Miami.
Yeah,
obviously, like they're in the hunt, but they're way behind. Like, they're in the playoff hunt because I think they're the only team I think that's below 500 in the AFC
East.
What's this way?
What are you talking about? Below 500?
Like they're in the hunt. Like in the playoff hunt, like they're
I don't know. The
other teams are all like 6-3.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can catch up. It's just you have to catch up so much ground.
Oh no, for sure. But let's talk about the Pats. Like super pumped. Like I was saying to Eric, like we are who we are. Like Belichick, like I said, predicted earlier this year, we're gonna run the ball. Harris is wicked. Like I told Eric, I was really excited about him last year, but he just really not even potentially, like he just really redshirted. He saw maybe 5 snaps last year in one game.
No, but he got hurt last year, right?
Well, he was hurt at a training camp, but he ended up really just redshirting, which is, well, it is what it is, right? They did that with, people don't remember, but they did that with James White as well, and it worked out fine.
And he looks way better. I know,
always a beauty.
we reference other podcasts because we listen to them, but I was listening to Bill Simmons' podcast, and they said that he's gonna in a text thread with like a bunch of his Pats fans, and they're like. It was early on this year, and they're like, Harris is the best running back on the roster. Like, it's not even close, especially when you look at... Oh, obviously, you want Sony Michel to be something, and you want him to be good. You obviously spent a first-round pick on the guy, but he's probably not going to be that guy.
Well, the sad thing about Sony is, too, like, he breaks that 100-yard game, then he gets hurt in the same game, right? Like, on, 12 touches? Like, yeah. Which is... just heartbreaking. It's like every time he just starts to somewhat get something going, it's just injuries and shit. But, it slow him down. But it is what it is. If he can contribute, he's still a good back. He's just not, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, we got a Burkhead. It's just been unreal. Like, him and Cam have just found that connection. And Harris, and man, has me in my fantasy. And Myers been unreal. But I told you a lot about Myers beforehand. Like, yeah. I think they're simplifying things with Cammy. Like, honestly, I noticed in this last game against Baltimore, they'll go play action. If his first reads, like, basically he's looking for Myers. If it's not there, he's looking for his check down. Like, so basically, they've, I think, cut his reads in half. It kind of it appeared to me that way anyways. They simplified things, and it looked great, a lot better. They're more consistent, and they're just battling out there, and I just love it. Like, we're playing power football, which is our strength. Like, let's be honest, we have well, I don't want to say Cam is like a running quarterback, just a running quarterback, because he can pass too. But, we just don't have that many options out there. Keel Harry back in there, and I wanted to mention that. Like, the receiving, like I noticed the blocking for the receivers was just excellent for New England. And I also want to say like on the Rex Burkhead where it was like it was a toss from Cam for his first touchdown pass in, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 weeks.
No, it's
for his third touchdown.
That's his first touchdown since week 2.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been a while. So, but anyways, people were complaining on a pick, but it was not a pick. Technically it was, but if you come below the line of scrimmage,
yeah, but that's the Patriots.
It's not a pick.
The Patriots get away with those picks every.
No, but you know what I mean. Like if he would have did that on the other side of the line of scrimmage, it's getting called.
Well, the thing is,
I just wanted to clear that up for people, though, if you know what I'm talking about.
The Pats have done this forever, and it's where Bill Belichick says, "What's the exact rule?" And they say the exact rule is this is a pick, and he goes, "Okay," and he just slightly, switches it, and he makes it so it's not a pick in the rule book. And he's done that forever. He did that.
If you're not trying to cheat, Eric, you're not trying to win.
Well, he's done it, but he's not even cheating at that point, which the Patriots do cheat a lot. But he's not even cheating at that point. That's just knowing the rules and knowing what you can get away with and doing it. And that's smart. And
that's just coaching.
And that's just coaching.
Really good coaching.
You really have to there's some rules, it's like the one that he had last year, and obviously it burnt them in the
What can we get away with, essentially, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but he had the game last year where he knows if you do 2 false start penalties, you automatically run time off the clock in the fourth quarter. And he did that against, was it Buffalo last year or whoever it was? It was a game that the Patriots had, and you looked over and you seen he just wasted like a minute and 30 seconds off the clock, and he's just over there chuckling because he knows if he does that, he can do that twice and that he'll run the time off the clock. So he knows he can do that, so he does it. So it's a really smart move, and it's just bending the rules and just working the rules to your favor, right? So, but what did you see out of Baltimore that made you just I watched the game a bit, kind of was watching it while I was doing other stuff.
Getting away from what they do. They're getting Lamar to pass a lot, which is totally fine, but you got to remember your run first team, and you put him in, second. You want to put him in manageable situations. Look, you see that with a lot of quarterback. I'm not just saying that Lamar, but you want to put him in 3rd and 5 if you're going to pass, or just easier shit. You can still do options, and I don't know. I feel like a couple of Baltimore's losses, they're getting behind and they're asking Lamar to throw the ball too much, and he's just forcing it a little bit. That's just my opinion, but I really think New England just took a page out of Baltimore's book and just really went at them with what they do to teams, except without the Lamar factor, of course. But I'll tell you, though, Cammy, he's kind of like Lamar there in that red zone. He just takes off. I love seeing – I've never been so excited for quarterback sweeps in my life. I see the big number 1 Newton go for that end zone stretching. I love it, but it's exciting. And the defense kind of got back on track and played better special teams, all around better game, coaching and everything.
And Jackson's your corners haven't been. It's more like your front 7 that's kind of been your guys' issue all year long.
We really are backers because we're just so inexperienced.
Yeah.
So it's good to see Juke got a couple more snaps. That 2nd round pick. Or 3rd round pick or 2nd round pick linebacker from New England, from Michigan. Yep. Which finally, because he's on the field. And I just want to touch on something too with New England. So after this 4-game losing streak, Tom Brady's gone, la-di-da-di-da. Pats are, junk now, this, that, and the other thing.
True story, they're junk.
They definitely attack Belichick on his drafting. Are you kidding me, man? I don't understand this. I was just bragging about Harris, who had 12 carries for 100 and some yards, no touchdown, but so he's really actually a really good running back. And I think he's broke the 100 mark barrier here the last 3 games, to be honest, at least the last 2 for sure. They also get in this last draft, they get a guy who's playing offensive tackle for them right now, Ogden or whatever, and he's been not Ogden, can't remember his name, it doesn't matter. He's been unreal for them.
Yeah.
I think people just they drafted 2 tight ends and they've got maybe 3 catches between them and both of them on IR.
Yeah.
But that's just that's a whole thing. I do wish we'd get James White on the field more. You see them have Harris and Burkhead on the field together. I want to see something. I want to see James White get on the field, especially like you just said, they're just too predictable. He's basically looking for Myers. Or he's looking for Burkhead, right? He's in the backfield. So basically he's looking for Myers and he's looking for his check down.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see them get James White out there. Like, I know he's a running back, but who gives a shit? Put him in the other slot.
Well, the guy's
just get him out there. Like, get your best players out there. It doesn't, regardless of position.
He was known as one of the best pass catching running backs for a while, and there's a reason for that, right? So
he started the year, like, his first couple games really good, but his parents, unfortunately, that tragic accident, and he lost his father, and his mother's getting better, so that's good to hear. But he's just kind of never been the same, and they haven't really got back to really using him. You know what I mean? So
it's you.
So all in all, man, like, Baltimore got away from what they do best. You can't do that. Their defense.
No,
I'm telling you.
I think the problem. So last year,
I really think New England just flipped the script on them.
Well, no, and the thing is, and I talked about this, earlier in the year. It was going to be different to see what Lamar could do this year. And when I say that,
when everybody sees what they've done, like,
but it's not even just what they've seen. It's also the main thing to me was that at the end of the day, he never played from behind for like the last 9 games of 2019. So like last year, he never played from behind for a single quarter, nothing. Like they never played from behind. And then this year, at the start of the year, it was the same thing. They started off and they never played from behind to start the year. And you can play a different way. And there's some quarterbacks, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you will disagree with me. But I don't know if Lamar gets behind by 10 points. Do you feel if you're in the fourth quarter and Lamar is down by two scores, do you feel like Lamar is going to lead you down? Because it just seems
Are you confident that he can rally you and come from behind win? Is that what you're getting at?
The reason why he's so good is because you're always worrying about the run, right? And that's why he's so electric, is because they have to stack the box because their run game is so dangerous.
Terrified. Yeah, they're terrified.
Right? Just between him, whether it's him getting out there and getting into space, whether it's the running back, whether it's whatever it is, right? Reverse plays, you get Hollywood Brown going, you get this guy going, Dave Renee, whoever, right? You get all these guys moving around, doing their thing. They get some little trick plays going. But it's different when
speaking of trick plays,
it's different when the defensive ends can tuck their ears back and they have one way to go and they know, okay, this guy, yeah, you know what, he might escape from us. Let's try to keep him in the pocket a little bit, but let's get after this guy. Let's sack this guy. We're gonna pass rush this guy. We know we don't have to worry about him, running the ball as much, or at least you don't have to worry about the running backs running the ball because it's going to be a pass. And it just seems like he just can't make up for that. Right. So
to answer your question though, like about Lamar, let's say you're down 10 or 14, you're down 2 scores. I'm going to go with, all depends with who they're playing. Let the record show, like, people can go look the numbers up. When they're playing a below average team, he's got more wins. If he's playing a Cleveland Browns, chalk it up. It's a W for them. But I'm saying if he's playing Kansas City, a New England, like a legit, the Steelers, like a legit every year playoff contender. Now, New England this year, not
Absolutely,
so much.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think I've painted a picture for you all. His numbers aren't that good, and they just show. Like, he's got barely, maybe 1 or 2 wins against legit teams.
Yeah, and even
so,
like, and I understand, like, he's.
So the answer to your question is no.
No, and the thing is when he gets down and his numbers are way down this year, and a lot of it is because you lose Marshall Yonda in the offseason when he retires, right? Then you go out this year and you'll lose the tackle there that they just gave a bunch of money to, right? Whatever it was, like week 5.
Yeah.
So now you don't have that extra pressure. You don't have that extra time in the pocket. Like I said to everybody, like, he looked great against Miami last year. Miami was a fucking dumpster fire.
Yeah,
they were terrible.
They traded everybody with anybody.
Exactly, right? So now you're trying to learn on the fly at the start of last year. And if you look at those games when he was putting up 300 and some yards and a couple touchdowns, 4 touchdowns or whatever it was, you look at the time that guy had in the pocket. He had there wasn't a guy within 5 yards of him. He just backed up, let it rip, and he went from there. So it's a different thing and that's anybody, right? When you start putting it in and you start putting these systems in, when all of a sudden they're getting pressured, they don't have time, and it becomes a different ball game, right?
I think there's time for Lamar though. Like,
I know, I think you can.
No, I'm just saying, like, me and you have both said that Priest Holmes, sorry, Patrick Mahomes. Sorry, guys, I
Yeah.
got all twisted up there. He come out and said he couldn't read.
Yeah, plays.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, couldn't read half the field or whatever. He'd have one or two options. And then later on, within the year and a half, 2 years, he got it down pat. Like, it's to jump from college for quarterback to the NFL, it's so much quicker. It's crazy. I've never done it myself, but like to hear analysts and they show you the tape, it's remarkable. So it's quite a leap for these guys. But anyways, I'm just saying Lamar, I think, not that he won't get there, but as of right now, like to answer Eric's question, not a chance. Honestly, they're not really. Let's be honest. The Ravens are not built to come from behind, just like New England. They're more of a control the clock, get down there, score, not 3 points, 7.
Yeah.
Let that beast of a defense get out there, do what they do, right?
And
the Ravens they could easily win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But it's just like me and Eric said. The reason they've lost some games here is because they've got from behind, and they're asking Lamar to do something he hasn't done yet. He hasn't not in the NFL. He has in college, but not in the NFL yet. And not to say that he won't get there, but he's not there now.
No, and they don't have a whole lot of offensive weapons when it comes to the pass game, right? Mark Andrews is their best offensive weapon on the pass game, and he's a tight end. Hollywood Brown, whatever, Willie Snead, I think he's still on the team.
They're good players, but like it all runs off of that run, play action, one-on-one coverage. Because like Eric just mentioned, we're loading up the box because we're terrified of Lamar Jackson, and Lamar's going to throw a fucking grenade down
exactly.
there.
And you're playing a safety,
hit Hollywood Brown.
and you're playing a safety down.
Or Andrews.
The Chargers destroyed them in the playoffs, 2 years ago, and then last year it was the same thing against Tennessee, right? Tennessee put a whooping on them too. So
New England, bro.
Oh my God, yeah. So it is what it is. So we're gonna move on from that. Like I said, good game. It was.
But Lamar though, fun to watch.
Yeah, he's electric, and you hope that he can take that next step, and you just hope that he doesn't get complacent, and that's what it is, right? When you get to the top of the hill, and all of a sudden you're the MVP of the league, oh boy, look out, because your work's not done.
Lamar, you have one shit, buddy.
Yeah.
It's all about Super Bowls.
Exactly. Next game. So my Chargers, it's fucking depressing. Not gonna lie to you people. It really is really depressing. So this was kind of the worst game that I've seen from Justin Herbert. I don't know if he just, and Keenan Allen, like I've watched Keenan Allen play for 8 seasons, whatever it's been now.
I can't even comment because I didn't even see the highlights.
Oh my God.
I seen a couple highlights of Miami on that game, but then I don't remember seeing Herbert at all. So.
No. So Herbert, he missed throws. He was not checking down. It was just a lot of like not a whole lot of great.
That's a tricky defense.
Yeah. Why does Eric Lindros have a black eye right now?
I know. I was just looking at that. I was totally blown. Did he get in a scrap?
Oh, look,
man.
Yeah.
James Duffy bringing it up right now.
He's Duffy's like, what's up? He's like, oh yeah.
He's like, I got in a fight with a cat, and the cat won.
Yeah, talking when I should have been listening. But no, so essentially, game starts off, and right from the get-go, the Chargers, they don't have a good drive. They go to punt. I'm literally turning the TV on at this point because I was just coming in from doing some stuff, and literally I walk into the Dolphins blocking a punt. I was like, well, this is gonna be freaking great, which leads to a short touchdown. They get it
short
in.
Field, which works in Tua's favor.
So so Tua and them run it in, and then they go back. They get a second one. They get a second, little drive going. Tua gets another one here. He gets, and he gets a little short 3-yard touchdown pass to Grant. It was a good drive by Tua. He managed what he had to.
The whole team.
And then, the second quarter comes. The Chargers finally look like they're having life, and it's because of the defense, not because of the offense at that point. They get a weird fumble. The center just dropped it essentially in front of Tua, and he didn't get his hands on it. So Nick Virgil for the Chargers picks it up. He starts running it back. Tua actually chases him down and tackles him down.
Love it.
But then, it goes back, and Herbert gets they go all the way down, and then Herbert gets like a little QB sneak. It's like a half-yard, QB sneak.
Did he get in?
Yeah, it got in. And then they finish off the second quarter with a 50-yarder from Sanders. So right off the get-go, this is not going good for the Chargers. They're down 17-7 at the end of the half. And it's like, oh God, what's going on here? And I said Herbert just looked bad. Keenan Allen he never really got going. And I've watched a lot of Keenan, and he's usually pretty shifty out there. And I don't know if he's hurt or wasn't feeling good.
Could be Nick.
Or maybe something. But you also have Xavier Howard over there. You also have Byron Jones over there. Like, they spend a lot of money on corners over there.
Exactly.
To be a good team, right? They wanted to build from their secondary in. That's the New England model, right? You've seen it forever. McCourty, Patrick Chung.
And like you just said, the New England model, where their head coach is from.
Yeah, Brian
Flores.
So
he was going to take Keenan away.
Yeah.
Or try to.
Exactly. And Keenan just kind of looked off. And like I said, Justin Herbert looked off. Herbert's numbers weren't terrible. They were 20 for 32 for 187. That's his lowest passing total of the year, I'm sure, by far. And the 2 TDs, 1 interception. The interception was bad. They were just starting to really seem like they were coming back, and all of a sudden he just throws a
so
weird.
You guys are gathering momentum.
Yeah, he just throws a pass to the right. I think it was Howard picked it off, and he just went after the ball harder than Mike Williams did, and he came back, got it. And, Herbert, actually, another quarterback, hustling after a pick or, turnover. He, pushes him out of bounds. Looked way better tackling that guy than Phillip Rivers did a couple weeks ago against the
oh my God, where he fell down.
Oh, my God, it was so terrible.
Put his arms up. Yeah,
it was not good. But at the end of the day, like, Tua, everyone wanted to rave about Tua. Tua's numbers weren't that much better. Tua went 15 for 25 for 169. And 2 TDs. It felt like he went for more, to be honest. I was kind of surprised when I saw the stat line at the end of it. They had a good run. The running back, he's an undrafted. His name's Ahmed. He did good. He 21 for 85, 4 average, 4 yards per carry. Had a TD. Grant was probably the most electric, but it was mostly just like defense, special teams. That's what won the game for the Chargers.
So just like all phases. Like
yep.
their offense was efficient. You're saying,
yeah, and
did not carry the payload like their defense and
exactly right. And
I get what you're saying.
For the most part, other than that stupid little fumble, Tua never didn't have any of the turnover problems, which is obviously what you want to see. Herbert also at the end.
So you guys just have the one pick, or
the one
pick,
the
only turnover,
and the blocked field goal or the blocked blocked punt, and there was just some other little stuff like some bad returns, and it was just like I said, it was just a really terrible game.
So was it like a grinding game?
It was just a grinding, and it just Herbert couldn't get anything, and they were blitzing him really hard, which usually is pretty good. But there was also like just the O-line didn't play, typical whatever. I could complain and bitch about this stuff all day long.
I just want to get this out too. Super disappointed that the NFL didn't have this game on TV.
Yeah, they didn't have it on. I had
TV.
It. That's why Trevor didn't watch it. By the way,
super mad.
He wanted to, but he was
super mad.
He was watching from his house, and they didn't have it on for whatever reason. I had it on, obviously, because I have DAZN. But yeah, and then Herbert, they're driving down. They're obviously losing at this point. They're down. At this point they're down. What would that have been? They were down by 2 scores, and he rolls to his left. He's got a wide open Mike Williams in the corner of the end zone. Not a guy within 10 yards, but he's rolling to his left. He's a right-handed quarterback. He doesn't quite get himself set. He had the extra time. He should have just taken it. And he overthrows Mike Williams by 5-10 yards.
So he's kind of showed that he was rookie this week.
Yeah, and then the other problem with that was with 2. If he had thrown it and he caught it, it would have been 2 minutes and 2 seconds left. Chargers had no timeouts left. So they did score the next play, but now they're at minute 58.
I get you.
Which when
it's past the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, so now they're past the 2-minute warning, and when they do get they miss the onside kick, so Miami gets it back, and now all Miami has to do is just kneel down. Where if they'd got that first touchdown, they probably would have got the ball back with, very little time, but they still would have got it back with, say, 30 seconds. Still probably not going
to make something happen.
Maybe, right? Give you a chance, but like I said, first game that Justin Herbert looked human.
Looked
and looked like a rookie. And like I said, you don't want to see that against another rookie quarterback. But to be honest, he's looked pretty good against Drew Brees, Tom Brady, all these guys.
All those other starts, Patrick Mahomes. You watch that one together.
Yeah, we've literally watched him play good against every other quarterback, every other team. And
that's gonna happen. Like Miami's defense had his number. He must have seen some looks and some things that just threw him out. And like you said, Keenan Allen's a huge part for him. And if Keenan's getting open and he gets the ball to him early, you can just see his confidence grow. But
well, yeah, and that was like I said, it was
take away his top target, which
Yeah, it was like through most of the game, and I think at that point, Keenan Allen he finished with three receptions for 39 yards and 1 TD, which was like the end of the game, like minute 58 left. TD, it was what it was. Like I said, it wasn't great. Nobody really had a huge game. He didn't have a single receiver top over 40 yards. The run game was decent. Balaj, 18 carries for 68 yards. Still not what you want to see, but it was not terrible. Kelly had another rough game. The difference between Kelly and Balaj right now is when Balaj goes through a line, and if you get in front of him, he's bringing you an extra yard or two, or pushing you back. Exactly, falling forward. Yeah. It almost feels like Kelly right now.
He's lost his confidence, man.
Yeah, and then if he's running towards the line, he gets to the line, he kind of like slows down like half a step, and then as soon as he hits somebody, like they stop. Like he doesn't get any more. And he's just got to get that. I don't know if it's just
I hate to say it,
or
but
what.
Kelly's definitely in his own head right now. He's thinking like he'll hit the line. Like I find he hits the line now either too fast or he's coming in too slow. And like it's like Eric says, he sees somebody about to hit him, and it's like his leg drive stops. I've noticed these things too. I love Kelly. They got a good steal there, and he's a great running back. He'll figure it out. He's just going through this struggle right now, and like we just said, I think he's got a lot of it's mental. Like he's in his own head now.
Yeah,
he had so much success early. It was making it look easy out of UCLA. So, this happens. Another rookie, right? Like it's gonna happen. Hopefully he turns it around though this year. Like, it'd be nice to.
Yeah,
there's a lot of games left. I'm sure he will.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like I said,
I want to give one shout out to Hunter, who had a great game.
Yeah, he had a couple good catches. Nothing to write home with, but
nothing crazy.
No, he's still, like I said, it's just overall it was just not a great game, and like I said, it was the first game, unfortunately, that he had to look like a rookie, and like
he came back down to earth.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, hopefully that's behind him. We are playing the Jets this week, and for the love of God, if I lose the Jets, I'm gonna.
We almost did.
Oh, anyways, I don't want to talk about it. If we lose the Jets,
but I do want to mention two things. Eric brought one to my attention. I totally forgot. So a shout out to Hopkins and the Arizona. Is that on the talk list?
Yeah, that's right now.
All right. Okay. Well, before we get into that, then a shout out to Myers for that sick trick play where Cammy throws it to him and then he launches a grenade. By that I mean a bomb. By that I mean like a 20-yard pass.
Yeah.
I don't know if we call that a bomb.
Hey.
To Burkhead, but anyways, it was awesome. I was pumped.
No, it's.
But leading Eric into what he was going to get into here. Sorry, Eric.
Who's the host here? No, I'm joking.
Such a
douchebag. So there obviously was what they're calling the Hail Murray, which, hey, if I had
that's wicked.
I needed that play to be, that name to be a thing back in like high school. I could have, really used that for something, right? Maybe I would have been the starting quarterback. That would not have been good. But it was the Bills versus the Cards, and it went back. And the Bills kind of looked like they were out of it. The Cards kind of seemed like they had the game in hand. The Bills start flying back, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's like 45 seconds left, and Josh Allen hits Stephon Diggs for a huge catch. Coming across the end zone to that left side, gets it. Goes down, big celebration because you're like, holy crap, we just won this. This is huge for us. We're trying to stay up in the division. We're trying to keep the lead going. You never know what can happen, right? If you only have 2 losses, all it takes is one little loss here and there. Maybe you can get the first seed, right? Because, it depends on how Pittsburgh plays for the rest of the season. And then next thing you know, it's Kyler Murray. Get him going, and he has to roll out to the left, and he almost gets sacked. Just like that little, there's a measurement there that I'm not going to say online, but it has to do with the hair.
Please don't.
Yeah. So anyways, that was pretty much the measurement that he got away by. And all of a sudden he's rolling to the left. He's almost out of bounds, and he just lobs up
for all he's worth,
a 50-yard bomb.
Throws a grenade.
And here is, Tre'Davious White, who the announcers were just talking about and how great he was. And it was kind of funny because Hopkins has been saying, like, I'm the best receiver in the league. Because obviously Devontae Adams came out and started saying that after, some big games from them lately. But he didn't really have a huge game, I don't think, at that point. I'm just checking the stats real quick. I guess he had a decent game. He had probably 80 yards, 6 catches for 80 yards at that point. So it was, like I said, pretty good, play. And then all of a sudden, Tre'Davious White, he's standing in front of him. You have the safety behind him, and they all go up for this ball. And who comes down with it but DeAndre Hopkins?
What a beauty, eh?
Which, I don't know if you don't realize this, Trevor, because I didn't realize this. He's only like 6'1", 6'2". Like, he's not a tall guy. And
you see his hands, though?
They're huge.
He's got some of the biggest hands I've ever seen in my life.
They're a 6XL. Like,
I'd like to see his hands close to Shaq's. Like, I'd like to see the difference.
Like, it's...
Like, there'd be some difference there, but I'm just... His hands, people, like, his fingers are so long, it's ridiculous.
No, and he's got all... Like, it's just the way it is. Like,
it's mind-boggling.
Also, 1 second. Pause for a second. We're just going to talk about it. Trevor, you said this a million times. I meant to talk to you this before.
What's that?
You say mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling.
Whatever.
Like boggle. Like,
let's make it a phrase. Catchphrase.
Trevor's mind-boggling. He said it like 20 times last episode.
Trevor doesn't even care.
There's a couple sayings Trevor's just a little bit off, but it's fine. But yeah, like you said, huge pass. Like you said, it just took the sails right out of Buffalo's wind right out of Buffalo sails. It's just like, what do you do?
Stole the game from them,
and they're like,
which is awesome.
They're like, what are we doing? Like, you get 3-on-1. Poyer actually kind of came the other. I think he's a safety or corner. He kind of came from the side. He almost kind of knocked Tre'Davious White out of there. I know some of the announcers kind of said his job is Tre'Davious White is awesome. They kind of said like his job is really more is he kind of starts letting the guy come down with it, but then he punches it out, right? Because Hopkins has to make the catch all the way down. You're supposed to try to rip it out after. Poyer came out trying to just like disrupt everybody, and he almost kind of took out Tre'Davious White instead. But what a catch, what a throw. It's one of the better catches and throws I've seen, especially for a Hail Mary. That's very like Aaron Rodgers-esque.
It's another oh man, I can't talk tonight, but another thing in Arizona too.
Yeah.
Everything seems to always happen in Arizona. You notice that?
There's some big plays over there. But yeah, so that's like I said, that was it. The only other thing that I was going to mention, and this will bring us in the next little part too, is the over-under for that game, Trevor.
All ears.
Was 2.5. So Cardinals were to win by 2.5. So when they get that touchdown, they run out by 2 points. And then they don't kick the field goal. They kneel it after.
Wow.
So there is gambling people all over that are like losing their mind because they're like, holy shit, all we are is an extra point away from me winning my bet. And then they don't kick the extra point because if they block it and it goes the other way, that's 2 points that they would have tied it.
Exactly. So smart, really.
It's very smart. But not what the gambling public is thinking, which brings me to the next game, which is the terrible game that was the Cleveland Browns versus the Houston Texans, which...
The 10-7 game.
Oh, my God, is so terrible. So at that end of that game, I don't know if you saw this, Trevor, Nick Chubb, the guy breaks loose. He's down the sideline. He's past the 50, past the 40, 30, 20, 10, and then he steps out at the 1. The spread for that one was 3.5. They were up by 3. So if he scores, then Cleveland wins, and everybody covers their bets there, which was a lot of people had their money on Cleveland. And I listened to an interview today. He was on the Pat McAfee show, and he said, I only remembered that I shouldn't score because they talked about like don't score before the play. He goes, I only really like came back into my mind around the 10-5 yard line. He's like, so that's why I stepped out, because he goes, I'm 230 pounds. I ain't stopping and taking a knee in that short of distance. He goes, so I just like hopped out of bounds because that was the next best thing for me.
Which makes sense.
It does. Yeah. So it was a 59 yard field goal or a run. Sorry, not a field goal. So neither quarterback had a good day. But yeah, that's 2 games right there that bettors were just jumping up and down because here they think that they're going to cover. In both games, it was the exact same thing. Both of them, it all came crashing down as soon as you thought you had it. So
that's why we watch every Sunday, people.
It is.
Love it.
Yeah, Houston. I don't know what you do over there, but you have to do. I know you got a left tackle, and I understand you have a young starting quarterback, and I understand those are the 2 most important things that you need to build a team. but man, do they ever look freaking bad.
Houston needs to do well and bringing in undrafted free agents this year. They need to make the best of their draft picks that they do have.
Just suck for 2 years.
They need to find value in free agents that people overlook.
Yep.
They need to be smart about it. And like you said, this isn't, even after this year's draft class, they're still missing picks from the following. So they're just, going to have to be smart about what they do. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do with their head coach. If they bring somebody in, if they give Romeo Crennel, the title or not.
That'd be so stupid. Romeo Crennel.
He's a really good coordinator, but he does not have the, what do you call that, Eric? The repertoire as a coach.
I don't think,
He's never won as a coach, really. So running record. So I'm just going to say that.
One big injury. There's a couple injuries, obviously. There's injuries every week in the NFL. But one was a really big one, and that is one Mr. Drew Brees. And he went out and threw 2 touchdown passes with 3 broken ribs and a punctured lung.
It's awesome, eh?
And apparently he was having rib issues before this and everything else. So he's out. They don't really know how long. I don't think they've kind of said how long yet.
Sean Payton came over and said he knew it was serious when he asked him to take him out.
He's like, please take me out. I can't go. He's like, oh, shit. So my quick question is, how do you feel, Trevor, if you're the New Orleans Saints and Jameis Winston is your starting quarterback right now?
You're going to make it work. You got Michael Thomas back, which is huge, even though he didn't have numbers there last week. You got Kamara and you got pieces all around. They're going to make it work. And, seriously, that defense isn't that bad there. He's done this before. And by that, I mean the head coach, Sean Payton. As we remember here last year, Breezy got hurt again, and Teddy came in and looked like a hero. So, and they got Hill, too, there. They'll make it work. They always do. But they definitely can't lose any amount of games because they got the Bucs breathing down their necks. I can't remember who else is in that division. The Panthers are towards the bottom. It doesn't matter. But I know they got the Bucs breathing down their necks. So, anyways, it's going to be very interesting. But, you feel bad for Breeze.
No,
he doesn't deserve this. And he's having a pretty good year, and people are on him about his numbers. Man, sometimes you're just going to have one of those years where your passing yards aren't going to be what they always are, which for Breeze is always epic.
And guess what?
Right?
He's 142 years old at this point.
He's old.
And you were missing Michael Thomas for, 5 weeks?
The majority of the season.
So it is what it is. It's not going to be a huge deal. I feel bad for him, but this is what happens when you get to being older, right? Like your injuries just pile up. And
it's just on luck. Like it just goes to show you, you just said.
Well, I think
you hit the right way, and you're a little bit older.
Yeah. Well, I think when you looked at Big Ben, I think at one point this week he showed up and he had a nice pack on his shoulder, a nice pack on his knee. He was, looked like the bubble boy out there, just wrapped up in everything. But it was all just to help him recover. Enough talk about this. We're going to get right into predictions now.
Sweet. Did you mention that we both tied last week?
So I hadn't yet, but we went 8-8. Both
Which is bullshit.
We both won 8
Tying's
games.
like kissing your sister, Eric. It's horrible. You get nothing out of it.
I don't have a sister, so
I don't know. I'd never kiss my sister.
Yeah, well, see, yeah. Talk like you.
And Dan?
You sound like you're talking from experience.
Excuse me?
What? Kissing cousin?
And Dan?
And Dan. But yeah, so we both had 8 wins last week. Both, went 8 apiece. Not how we wanted to see it go. There was obviously a lot of games we got wrong, including the Bills,
Arizona.
Yeah, the Bills.
Both on the Bills.
The Patriots. We both thought the Ravens were going to win.
Yeah, that's true too. I went against my team
There was quite a few. I started off hot with
I went with Miami.
Colts winning.
Did I not? I did.
You went with Miami. I went with the Chargers. Both with the Bills. I had the Raiders. You had the Broncos for some reason. We both had the Texans over the Browns for some stupid reason. And we both had the Eagles over the Giants, which the Eagles look freaking terrible. But yeah, so we're going to get into Week 10 predictions. And we're going to start off. These are 2 teams. One team that's going in the right direction. Another team that's been struggling lately. They met a couple weeks back. The Cardinals took Game 1. The Cardinals are now going out to Seattle to play the Seahawks. And Trevor, who do you got? Kyler Murray or Russell Wilson?
Give me Russell. They're not going to win. They're not going to lose 3 in a row here.
Hustle and bustle. So what do you think?
That is my reasoning. They're not going to lose 3 in a row.
Just think that their defense,
I think this is Russell was, to be honest, was playing on real football, which I think he will get back into the trend of this weekend. I know he's had 2 bad weeks with turnovers and such, but he's forcing the issue because he was making up for all the cracks in the foundation, which is Seattle's team. But I think I think they get back in the win column, and I think Arizona's just had 2 really big, huge wins. I think they're due for a letdown, and that's my whole reasoning behind why I'm picking Seattle and Ross.
There you go.
DK,
Seattle. There we go.
What do you got, Eric? Who do you got?
I'm gonna go with the Cardinals. I think I'm coming off a big
Eric
win.
riding a hot Cardinals team.
Well, I was all over the Cardinals at the start of the year when they were struggling.
You were.
And I've been kind of going against them, and now I'm going to go back, and then now they'll start struggling again just to prove me wrong.
Epic.
I just think the defense for Seattle is terrible. Not that I think the defense for the Cardinals is amazing, but Seattle's defense is just terrible, and I don't know. They can't really get a running game going, and maybe if they get Chris Carson back, but yeah, there's just too many holes in there right now. Russell can't make up for everything. It will be a close game, but I feel like it's going to be like a 35-27 type of game.
I love that we both got opposite teams right off the hop.
Go.
Love it.
Eric's going to start 1-0 here.
Tee up. What's the next game, homie?
Next one. It's Washington, and they're hosting the Cincinnati Bengals.
Ooh. Smith is a starting quarterback again, correct? I believe.
Well, he was, and then he got hurt at the end of the game with like a minute left.
Did?
Yeah, he got thrown down really hard at the end of that game.
Let's go watch those highlights.
And no, sorry, that was Foles. Never mind.
You had me.
I had me.
You had me.
They're the same quarterback. Nick
So
Foles
gullible over here.
I don't know what you do. I don't know why you don't just give Dwayne Haskins another chance.
They should.
Just what are you getting out of starting Alex Smith? At this
Alex
point?
Smith really, I think, needs one more year to.
If anything,
honestly,
you can build up the trade value for a Dwayne Haskins if he plays good, right? And
what do you got to lose?
Yeah,
and you're just gonna give him a little more experience for sure.
You're terrible as is. I understand you can technically win your division because
it's horrible.
The NFC East is a fucking dog shit division.
It's tiresome.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't do that. Anyways, back to the main story. I'm picking Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think
2 of us, bro.
There we go. See,
LS Tiger. LSU Tiger.
I do like a lot of players on Washington. I really like Terry McLaurin. I really like Chase Young. He had a really stupid penalty at the end of that game this week.
Part of being young.
That led to Detroit going down and kicking a 59-yard game winner. How do you do? And but yeah, I like a lot of players on that team. I think they're still a couple pieces away, quarterback being one of them, but wait and see. Next one, Eagles, who are dog shit, versus the Browns, whose logo is a dog, but are sometimes shit also. Who do you got, the Browns or the Eagles?
Who's at home in this game?
The Browns.
Give me the Eagles. I kind of want to go with the Browns because of Chubb, but give me the Eagles.
I'm going with the Browns. I think the Eagles. I like Carson Wentz, and I don't think any of this is Carson Wentz's problem. I think if you are an Eagles fan and you're talking shit about Carson Wentz, you're an idiot. The man was really good. He was in the MVP conversation the year that he got injured. That Foles ended up coming in to win the Super Bowl. That team was so good. They also had Frank Reich back then calling the offense. Right now, they have no idea what's going on for an offense over there in Philly. It is absolutely
They've abandoned
terrible.
the run.
No run. Miles Sanders. They have no receiving help. Goddard was back, but Ertz is still out, I believe.
He is.
You have all these guys, and it's just I don't know how a team that was so good and built so well
a couple years
ago, 3 years ago, is now this bad. But that's I guess the case, right? So
I love it. We're against each other again.
Yeah. So Browns are the big one though, and I just think the Browns defense, which is good, I think they'll have enough, and then I think the Browns run game is the other big thing. Just between Chubb and Hunt, I think between the two of them, they're both probably going to get close to 100 yards. They'll both get probably a touchdown, and that's just the way it is. Next game, Falcons. They're on the road playing against probably a Jameis Winston-led Saints team. So who do you got?
Give me Atlanta.
Atlanta. Wow.
Matt Ryan and the boys have been pretty good since the regime change there. And Raheem Morris, right?
Yeah.
I believe. Took over as the interim head coach, and I just feel like the Saints are due for a hiccup here. Did the Saints lose?
No, they walloped the team they played.
Yeah, and they won the week before against, like I said, previous week against the Bucks.
Yeah.
But I just think that Atlanta's been a little bit a little bit of momentum, and maybe the loss of Breezy is going to set the Saints back a week. So that's what I'm going to say, even though I have tremendous respect for Winston, and I think for sure that they can win with him for sure.
Hey, well, there you go. Hey, that's what you think, man. That's
But
what
I'm
you
going
think.
with the Falcons, so you go with the Saints. And
I
make me
am.
happy.
I am going with the Saints.
Look at him just
And,
going with the Saints.
hey, Winston is not great. I think he had an interception that probably should have been turned. That should have been an interception. That luckily wasn't for the Saints. But I just feel like the Saints overall are a better team, I think that was Jameis Winston. He's kind of thrown into the fire. While with Breeze, he probably didn't think he was going to touch the ball other than a couple kneel downs or if they're blowing a team out, right? So next one, it's the Lions coming off a win against Washington. They're playing against the Panthers, who just came off of an ass whooping, which Trevor rambled on about earlier. So
Day, Junior.
man, this is sometimes words are hard.
Screw that on me.
Lions at the Panthers. Who do you got?
Give me Detroit.
Detroit.
Just because you told me Teddy, there's a good chance he doesn't play.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Plus McCaffrey's not going to play, so
I like the Lions too. I'm going to go with them. I think if they continue to do what they do and stop handing the ball off to AP and they kind of go more back to a DeAndre Swift.
I hate to say it, and I'm going to say this, but I was watching, I was watching some analysts for the NFL Network, and they were going on about how Detroit, you just don't know what you're going to get. 1 week they're amazing, the next week they're just garbage. And it's so, once they said, basically he bluntly said it like that, it's so freaking true. They'd be, they're 4 and 5, they should be so much better. Makes no fucking sense.
It's funny because when you look at...
it makes no fucking sense.
No, it's... People say, when you watch Matthew Stafford in warm-up, it's almost like watching a Steph Curry warm-up. That's how electrifying and exciting this guy is just to watch because he's so talented. And he's stuck with some of the worst coaches in one of the worst organizations his entire career. I even heard Calvin Johnson talking about not long ago that he had somebody. I don't think it was a shot at Matthew Stafford, but it was Aaron Rodgers kind of sometimes would be like, hey man, so when you coming over to play here? And Calvin was like, man, I wish I could. It said that's how much he hates that organization over there in Detroit. Because how do you screw over one of the greatest Lions of all time? Definitely the greatest Lions receiver of all time. Probably the greatest receiver in our generation. And
easy.
Well, who else is in our generation? You got Julio, but other than that, you don't have anybody else that's going to touch.
There's a lot of good ones here recently, bud.
I don't know, man. Megatron, for a week in, week out, that guy was more electric and more dominating than I've ever seen another receiver.
I don't know, man. Randy Moss was vintage.
Yeah, but Randy was kind of before.
You just imagine if he would have not wasted away in Oakland a couple of years and was in New England that one big year he had.
But that was at the end of and still that I don't know. That's
just one example. I'm just saying.
I'm just going from when we started watching football. Somebody came at the same time we started watching. That I think to me it's Calvin Johnson, but I'll always be a Megatron fan. Next game.
Don't get me wrong, I'm a fan too for sure.
The Patriots. They just whooped a young quarterback. Showed them who was boss.
I wouldn't say whoop, but they got it done.
And then now they're traveling down to Texas, and they're gonna play against the Houston Texans. And who do you got? The Texans hosting the Patriots.
Give me the Pats in this one.
Pats. Trevor going back to his Patriots roots. I'm also going the Pats, which probably means they'll probably lose because if we ever agree on the Patriots and if they'll win or lose, we usually get this wrong. Yeah, I just think the Texans are dog shit. They can't run the ball.
Having a year.
They can't run the ball, which is where you got to really exploit New England. And if they're passing the ball, I think Deshaun's weapons aren't good enough to beat Gilmore and Jackson and all these guys, right? So,
jeez, Jackson got another pick this weekend.
That's number 6.
He set a record in New England, not saying something for consecutive games with a pick.
Yeah,
we've had some beauties. Ty Law, Sante Samuel. He does not get the love he should. Sante Samuel. He was one of my faves. But anyways, let's move on. So you got the Pats too, you said, right?
Yep. Next one, the 9-0 Steelers. They're playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. I don't know if that can persuade you at all, Trevor, but
Jesus, the Steelers are due to lose, homie. But
And
I'm
they're
gonna
all-
go
and
with the Steelers here.
And they also play down to their competition.
They do.
And
Well,
the Jaguars are just coming off
Let's give the Jags just a humble brag here because they were looking really bad against the Pack, and then they made it a game, and the Packers only pulled that off 24-20, I believe.
Yep.
So, and that was out without Minshew, like you said. We
Yep.
said he's been hurt a
That's
couple
old
weeks.
Jake the Snake Luton there.
He's not a bad player, though. He's a player.
He's a player.
They seem to find guys, quarterbacks,
Just that like B-level player. That's what he's really
At
good
least
at.
he's out there trying. But so what do you got? Obviously, you're going to go with that.
I'm going with the Steelers.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I understand.
We'd make a case for the Jags. They just don't have enough.
No,
period.
they don't.
And we'll just leave it at that. The Steelers, though, people for the record, are due to lose.
They are.
I love saying that
just
shit,
not
too.
for probably not for a couple more weeks because they have looking forward here. So they have the Jags. They then have. I guess they could lose against the Ravens.
They're going to lose against the Ravens.
No.
Mark it down. What is that, the following week?
Yeah, and then they get
That'll be my pick, people.
and then they got Washington, and then they got the Bills, and what else they got? What did they finish off the season with? Can they go 16-0, Trevor?
No, they're not going to beat the Bills.
Then they got the Bengals. Oof. And then
Somebody
they
in
got,
your division will beat them.
Then they got the Colts, and then they got the Browns. So yeah, they could go 500. They probably won't, but if they say they probably lose 2 or 3 games.
There's
down the
3
stretch.
good teams there, really good teams.
So yeah, the last game of the early schedule, it is the Titans who are coming off an ass whooping. I shouldn't say ass. It wasn't a great game, and they are going to Baltimore, and they're playing the Ravens, who are also coming off a big loss. Both these teams look like they were.
This is going to be a tough one because I went with the Titans and Ravens actually
You did.
last week, and they both let me down here. So who do you got? You lead me in this one first.
So
Let me
I'm
think
going
for
to
a
go
second.
with the Titans, and my reasoning behind it is because I think they get up, and I think they
Who's at home here? Braves?
Ravens. I think the Titans just get up. I think they run the ball really well with Derrick Henry. I think Tannehill makes a couple of good play-action pass plays. And I think that's enough to beat up on the Ravens because I think if the Ravens get down by 10 points, which they could,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way that he comes back. So
Give me the Ravens. What
Ravens.
did they lose back-to-back games here? Give me the Ravens. Doesn't even matter. Give me the Ravens. I just want to. The Ravens at home, I liked them. I think Eric might have a slight edge or he's on to something. The recipe for Tennessee, run the rock, sets up their play
the
action.
only thing I have against Tennessee,
But I just think Lamar's due to break out.
yeah, the only thing I have against Tennessee, one of the big things is Taylor Lewan tore his ACL, so he's out for the year, right? So he's been missing for the last couple weeks, and that's a big part of their offensive line. Obviously, when you're missing essentially, an All-Pro left tackle,
There's going to be repercussions.
yeah,
Sorry.
exactly.
I get you.
Dolphins are going up to Denver to play the Broncos. Who do you got?
Dolphins.
Yeah, me too. I think the Broncos are terrible, and I don't think Drew Lock's the answer. I understand. I'm saying this as a Chargers fan who lost to Drew Lock on a
I'm not giving up on
last-second
Lock
field
yet,
goal
but I think
or
their
last
coach
second
is the answer.
touchdown. But
I don't like their coach.
Vic Fangio, hell of a defensive coordinator, probably one of the top 5 in the league. This guy cannot be a head coach. I don't know what it is with him. He gets around that 5-minute mark left in the game, and he just seems to get lost. So it is what it is. The Chargers,
Who do they got?
they're hosting the Jets, and for the love of God, I hope the
Jesus,
Chargers
I hate
win.
to say this, but I'm just kidding. Give me the Chargers.
Oh my God, people! I'm telling you right now, I know it's gonna look really nice to put money on the Chargers here, and I want to too, but I'm just telling you right now, as a Chargers fan, I've been disappointed many times in my life. And we lost to the Browns that year that they were winless. And we gave them that one win of that year.
It's all right.
And that's the way that the Chargers run. They lose to really bad teams sometimes. And I don't know why, because I really do think we're good. I know I've said this every week. I really do think we're a good team. Obviously, Joey Bosa being out with a concussion that's hurt us the last 2 weeks.
Fuck Bosa. They got to get rid of the goddamn defensive coordinator.
Gus Bradley.
Gus Bradley, I love you, man. It's time for a change for you. You need new beginnings.
It's
The
not.
Chargers need man-to-man defense with
Just-
blitzing.
Or
God
just-
damn it.
just a little bit of both.
Blitzing.
Yeah. Next one, Cowboys. They're going down to the Vikings. I don't want to talk about the Chargers game anymore because I don't want to jinx it, and I'm going to cry anyways
So
when
we
they
both
lose
go
to
the
the
Chargers.
Jets. Yeah. Cowboys visiting the Vikings.
Vikings all day.
Yeah. I think the Cowboys defense just isn't good, and I don't. Zeke's not going to get anything going. He'll have a lot of
Eric
touches.
said it
but
earlier. I think the Cowgirls are done.
They're done.
That's where I am with the Cowgirls.
I don't know who you let win that division, but right now I think the Eagles have the best record, and they're 3-5-1.
We still agree though, the worst team in the league's Jets.
Yeah, 100%, and that's why the Chargers are going to lose to them, because it's going to just one extra thing to really, infuriate me. Next one, we got one last game before the night game, so it is the Packers. Aaron Rodgers coming off a close win against the Jags, playing against Phillip Rivers and the Colts.
Ooh, this is a sick matchup.
Yeah, so who do you got?
Who's at home here? We at Lambeau?
Colts.
Really?
Yep. That would be one Mr. Phillip Rivers. They're going to be in the dome.
The Colts got a like, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, got a really crazy defense, but I'm giving the Colts.
Okay.
Give me the Colts. Tell me you're going with the Pack.
I am going with the Packers.
Yes.
I do really like the defense of the Colts. I've said this all year long. I think they're really good. I don't think the defense of the Packers is as good, but I really like Aaron Rodgers. I think he's playing at a really high level. I think to play against Phillip, I think he's going to kind of show. Devontae Adams, he's the best, probably, to be honest, probably right now, playing like the best receiver in the league.
One of them.
And yeah, he's just really, really good. So I'm going to pick them over the Colts. Sorry, Phillip. I love you and your 12 kids. The night game, it's the Chiefs playing against the Raiders, coming off a big win against Denver.
Give me KC because they lost the first matchup to the Raiders, and they're not going to lose both games this year. So give me a KC.
I'm also going with KC. Patrick Mahomes. I don't know how he doesn't have better MVP odds. Not that I don't think they've played great. I know he's big.
Tommy's creeping up there now in the talks.
Oh my God.
Russ has dropped off because of the picks for back-to-back weeks, but I don't think Russ is done either. So it's wide open right now.
None of this stuff matters, by the way.
Where's the running backs? I kind of miss the running backs and receivers in this.
They don't get that
MVP.
anymore. It's.
When was the last time a receiver won?
Probably
Fuck,
Jerry.
I can't even remember.
Probably Jerry. Jerry probably won it at one point, right? I don't even know.
I'll have to look that up, people.
Okay,
Was that the last game?
No, there's one last game, and it's a Monday night football game. It's the Rams.
Oh, I love the Rams.
And the Buccaneers. And they're in Tampa.
They're in Tampa. Who do you got, Eric? This is a grit grinder game if I've ever seen one.
So the one I have, I'm going with the Rams.
I knew you were going to go with the Rams. I was just sitting here for a minute. I'm like, I bet you he takes my Rams. Jesus. Well, people, fun fact. I've watched every New England game this year. I've watched almost every Miami game except for the Charger game last weekend. I've watched every Buffalo Bills game this year. I have watched one Jets game, and that was against New England, and that was horrible. But I've watched every game of the Rams. I don't know if I said that, but that's where I was going with that. And the Bucks. No, I'm lying to you because I didn't see the Bucks lose to the Saints, but I'm going to. But anyways, I'm going to go with the... Give me the Bucks.
Go with the Bucks. We have a lot of different games this week, Trevor. We
did last week, too, with the 8-8 tie draw.
2, 3...
The Colts, I'll go on a rant there. The Colts, I just really like their defense. Like Eric said, Aaron Rodgers has been unreal.
He's 6 games different.
I thought Phillip Rivers was falling apart, but then he gets on. He looks like his old self for 2 weeks.
The thing is, if Phillip has time to
Phillip's
throw,
going to play within himself. Sometimes he gets excited.
Yeah.
I get it, but he's another guy. Actually, like they're a better team when they're out leading, and he doesn't get excited. Like if they're down by more than, even sometimes I find with him if they're down by 10, but. I really like the way that defense is playing. They can get pressure, and I like how they can cover. Like they're just in their fast defense, the Colts, and I just like where they're at. So sometimes you just got to go with your gut, and my gut's telling me go with the Colts.
Hey, I'm all for the Colts.
Who did Aaron Rodgers get spanked by this year?
A couple teams got spanked by the Bucks.
It was a Buck game I was thinking of. Yeah,
it was really bad.
That was a game.
Just so you know, Trevor, a receiver has never won.
Really?
The MVP.
That's a fun fact.
Yep. There's been a couple, running backs. Adrian Peterson.
I knew there was running backs.
AP was the last one in 2012. LT back
Marshall
in
Faulk must have won it, eh?
Yeah, LT in 06. Sean Alexander in 05. Really? Marshall Faulk in 2000.
Okay.
TD, Terrell Davis 98. Barry Sanders 97.
Terrell Davis, what a beauty.
Emmitt Smith in 93. Thurman Thomas in 91. Those are all non-quarterbacks. After that, most of it's quarterbacks. But yeah, so that's it. So yeah, 6 different games. It's gonna be another good week. More football. NBA drafts tomorrow.
Yep, gonna give that a watch.
So see who goes. They're talking.
See if they trade. Houston trades both their
Harden.
studs. Well, if you want to call
And
them
Westbrook.
studs.
They're studs.
I'd love to see Harden go. Well, I'd like to see him. Part of me wants to see him reunited with Durant, but I hate Kyrie.
I don't understand what you do there because you then have 3 ball dominant guys.
Really
like,
ball handlers.
Yeah, like they always want the ball in their hand. That's a lot of ISOs.
Well, Kyrie doesn't need the ball, but
no, like
he can play off. But.
It works. The whole Kevin Durant thing, him playing with Steph Curry, it worked because like yes, Steph likes to handle the ball and stuff, but Klay Thompson doesn't dribble. Like that guy just fucking gets the ball and shoots it. Like he doesn't.
He dribbles, but he just never has to.
No, he doesn't.
Like Steph's always got it in his hands.
Yeah, and that's the way it is, and that's why KD kind of worked there. With KD and Harden and Kyrie, like all those guys just want to hold on to the ball, and there's too many egos there. You know, somebody has to just be the really good shooter.
You know, I hate to say it, but Kyrie to me is a cancer.
Yes, 100%. He's crazy. But anyways, that's that big thing. I don't think there's anything really else. Football.
What an awesome episode.
We could talk about the new NLL lacrosse team in Fort Worth,
Mention
Texas.
it though. Say it. Tell me.
They're the Panthers.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, they're with another purple jersey. Now there's 3 teams in this league of like 12 teams, 11 teams that have purple in their jerseys. It's kind of odd.
It is odd.
You got Halifax, you got them, and then you get the San Diego Seals. It's kind of odd. I don't know if that's the color scheme I'd go for all the teams.
I don't know though. If you look at the Ravens though, gotta love that purple.
Oh yeah.
Is there any purple in the NHL? The Knights used to have it. The Kings, but they don't at the moment.
Who else? It's gonna be another purple team.
Let me think just off the top of my head here. The NHL.
Who's the obvious one we're missing here?
Purple. I really don't think there is. We got a lot of red in the NHL, a lot of blue, a lot of green actually.
While we're thinking of this, I'm just gonna check.
There's definitely no purple.
I'm just thinking.
If we're talking NBA, Sacramento comes right to mind. Or used to have it.
There's lots of options. If you haven't yet, our main place to find us right now and to communicate with us is Twitter. I've been posting a little bit on there. So if you want, come check out the Twitter.
Also, don't we have an email?
We do have an email. Email us any questions or info or whatever you guys want to talk about. If you're like, hey, can you talk about this on the pod? Or if you're like, hey, can you do this on the pod? Or whatever it is, you can get a hold of us at fromthebench.info@gmail.com. And that's pretty much it. That's that's another good episode. We're just flying through these now, Trevor.
Just killing it.
It's like second nature, really.
Just killing it.
Yeah. So, anyways, we'll let you guys all go. Thank you for listening, and until next time.
He's Eric.
I'm Eric, and this is Trevor. And
keep your stick on the ice, gentlemen.
See, look, we nailed that this time,
right?
Bye, guys.
Have a good one.